The Salt Lake City School District no longer without a superintendent. More on who was appointed and how parents are reacting to the announcement. Plus, North Ogden officers releasing body cam and ring footage of a fatal shooting and house fire last week. And
feels good to be here. Feels good to finally put the stamp on it.
The University of Utah celebrating the largest graduating class to date. Students sharing their excitement at tonight's commencement.
Live from Utah's first TV station, ABC4 News celebrates 75 years.
Welcome to ABC4 News at 10. I'm Glenn Mills. Emily Flores has the night off. Now at 10, following a tumultuous year, the Salt Lake City School District finally announcing a new superintendent. ABC4's Elena Castro live in studio tonight with more on who is taking the job. Elena.
Dr. Elizabeth Grant, a Salt Lake City School District native, was announced as the district's new superintendent today. And both her and members of the district are excited for her to take on this new role.
The district has been without a superintendent since last September when Timothy Gadsden resigned. Grant shared of her experience growing up in the Salt Lake City School District and her excitement for the role.
I'm honored to serve as Salt Lake City Superintendent of Schools and to work with this board and the educators and staff of the Salt Lake City School District to increase opportunity and achievement for every one of our students.
Licia Sattini, a parent of 2 students inside the district, shared her thoughts on the announcement.
She's strong on the academic side, and I think that's great to have a lot of knowledge, but I think experience is very important. I see that she is a local of Utah, so I do appreciate and love that because she understands the culture here in Utah.
Grant grew up within the district, attending both the Roslyn Heights and Wasatch Elementaries, Bryant Junior High, and East High School. She served in educator capacities at Lowell Elementary and Edison Elementary.
I see that she's very civically engaged in her resume, and hope that translates over and we can do some big things here with the school district. I want to say best of luck or congratulations, and hope that she's able to build on top of the foundation Salt Lake School District already has.
Grant has been an educator at the private, public, and university levels. She will assume her position on July 1st. Glenn, back to you.
Lena, thank you. The Utah Department of Agriculture and Food stepping in to help after an incredibly difficult year for farmers in Rich County. County Commissioner Sim Weston, who is a rancher, telling us after a long winter, this spring has been brutal. He says he lost about 100 head of cattle to the extreme weather, and he's not alone. The county estimates ranchers in the area losing 20 to 30% of their calves to freezing temperatures. Now, this means anywhere between 10 to 15,000 animals.
I feel bad that so many people have lost so many calves because the break-even point is so narrow in this business.
Weston says the governor recently visited Rich County to learn more about the problems ranchers are facing firsthand. He says for many, it'll take years to financially recover from the loss. Time now for a first look at the weather forecast. Forecaster Bob Doran for Chief Meteorologist Lana Brophy tonight. And Bob, we had some storms moving through the state today.
Yeah, we've had quite the busy little afternoon, and we knew it was going to be coming during the night, and lo and behold, it did. Well, you can start to see how that was going as we start to see clouds rolling across the Great Salt Lake. Chris Williams got this. He's been getting some great video and footage and photos of all that's going on, and he'll have more days to work on that because this pattern that we have, well, it's not going anywhere. We're going to be stuck with this for a little while, and it is doing some business with our flooding. We can see we still have some minor flooding going on in some of our waterways. We'll be watching that. The good news is we've got some cooler weather coming. That's going to be nice. We want to cool down so we can slow down when it comes to all of this stuff we've got going on. But the flood alert's still going. You can see Ogden River in that flood warning. And if we go into, well, there's the Sevier River, and we've got Dolores River still working its way through. And then up in Vernal, that Green River coming through, that's starting to pick up as well. So again, we want to cool down because this is what's happening right now to our snow water equivalent. it. You can see this drop we've had over 6.5 inches we've had in just this last week. And you can see that's matching what happened in '83 where we had that big drop down. So we want to slow that down. Our tracker are looking at storms going on. You can see we've got some activity going on in Salt Lake and Araras. But let's go south first. We can see southwestern Utah getting some action going on. But then look at this northern Utah, especially if we go up into Davis, Weaver County, up into Cache County. You can start to see got some heavy stuff going in there, and that's going to be working its way through the night. Be a little while before that clears out. Temperature-wise, looking at great temperatures. You'll see some 50s going on. We're getting near normal. Now, that's great. Like I said, we want to cool down so we can slow down. You can see here as we are looking at that below normal. We'll start to rise up a little bit as the week goes on, but we do have more wet weather coming, and I'll be telling you all about that and what you can expect this weekend in my full forecast in just a little bit. Glenn, to you.
Thank you, Bob. The Weber County Attorney today releasing more video from the scene of that deadly shooting and house fire in North Ogden just last week. Now, we're told a man killed his brother, shot his sister-in-law, and then set that home on fire before dying in a shootout with police. According to the attorney's office, 66-year-old Jeffrey Roberts of Long Beach, California, driving to his estranged brother's home in North Ogden. This was back on Thursday. Just after 7 p.m., Roberts approaching the front door of his brother's home, ringing the doorbell, and then seen speaking to someone before pulling out a gun and firing. Now, all of this captured on a Ring camera, and we do want to warn you, you may find this disturbing.
She's living with Lorinda's mom, who's taking care of her. Really? Yeah. Well, how long has she been there? About a year. Really?
Okay, that was Jeffrey Roberts pulling out a 9mm handgun, shooting his brother Scott Roberts and his wife Jody Roberts. After shooting Scott, he used road flares to set that house on fire. When police arrived and Jeffrey Roberts was leaving the home, he fired at them, the officers firing back and killing him. Scott Roberts dying from gunshot wounds. Jody Roberts also suffering from gunshot wounds but is currently recovering in the hospital. That incident remains under investigation. Motorcyclist was killed in a crash on State Street this afternoon. Sandy police say just after 1 p.m. a motorcycle was going north near 8600 South when he tried to make a left turn and was hit by a pickup truck going south. The motorcyclist dying on the scene, the driver of the pickup truck with no injuries. State Street was closed in both directions from 8640 South to 8400 South for several hours until that scene was cleared. Northbound Legacy Parkway in Centerville shutting down this weekend, so you may want to find a detour. The Utah Department of Transportation will begin installing beams for the connection between West Davis Highway and southbound I-15 between this Friday at 10 p.m. through Monday, opening back up at 5 a.m. Drivers will need to use I-15 as an alternate route. State leaders in government and law enforcement gathering today at the Capitol for a solemn occasion, the annual Utah Police Memorial Service. It's a time where we as a state can reflect on the lives and service of the 147 police officers, sheriff's deputies, and state troopers who've been killed in the line of duty since our state's founding. Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson speaking today, highlighting the heroism of Utah's police officers during last month's string of false school shooting reports.
Police officers literally running into Spanish Fork High School with their long guns, running into places that everybody else wanted to flee. This happens every day with law enforcement.
Service today featuring speakers, musical numbers, the release of doves, and a rifle salute to the fallen. Utah's last line of duty death was back in 2020. You can find every officer memorialized dating back to 1853 at the website there on the screen. New at 10, the University of Utah celebrating its largest graduating class to date. The 154th General Commencement Ceremony for the U happening tonight. The class of 2023, the largest graduating class in school history with 8,723 members. A PhD graduate among them sharing his excitement.
It's very excited to become not a professional student, to move on and be a professional in the industry and make money.
Highlights of the ceremony include guest speakers, 4 honorary degrees awarded, and a recipient of the Rosenblatt Prize, which honors a faculty member for their excellence, also recognized tonight. Today was a big day for students up in Logan as well. Utah State University began its commencement ceremonies this morning. Excited graduates, professors, and others all gathering by the university's old main building. The procession walking from the Quad to the Spectrum, where they held graduation. ABC4 reporter Annika Johns among those graduating today.
Oh, it's going really good. We're graduating today, and I can't believe it's happening. So,
students in cap and gown, waving and walking as loved ones film and cheer. We want to congratulate all of those graduates today. Coming up, Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is visiting the southern border today. This a week before Title 42 border restrictions are set to expire. And 4 horses have died with just 2 days to go to the Kentucky Derby. Officials saying those deaths are cause for worry. More on what's going on.
Plus, it wasn't just weather activity we had above Salt Lake today. We had this from May the 4th be with you. Scott Taylor sent us this. Said, if you want to tell us that that's not where the Millennium Falcon would shoot lasers, I'll just say 10 points Gryffindor, and then I'll give you my full forecast. Coming up, it's your weekend right after all this.